Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I love reading. Hello, my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten, and we're at the start of another weekly reading vlog, and we're starting it a little bit early because if you saw last week's reading vlog, well, it didn't end in the most... Well, it just kind of ended lackluster last week when it came to reading. Like, the week itself, I really enjoyed. I had a good week. The reading wise, well, not so much towards the end of the week, but we're going to start off strong because I have started an ebook. I did start it last week, but I decided to stop because I thought, you know what, no, I'm going to become quickly obsessed with this book. So I'm going to put it on pause because I was in the middle of a few things last week and I was like, I want to focus on those and then I can bring this ebook into this week. And that is The King of Wrath by Ana Juan, and I am loving this. This is the first book in the King of Sin series. I am obsessed. I blame Jan for this. Jan Action, amazing channel. I'll have a link below. Yeah, I wholeheartedly blame her. She was talking about this book. She was doing this reading vlog where she was reading Crescent City, and then she was also talking about the Kings of Sin series, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to give it a try. Why not give it a try? Because I have always said that I am not a contemporary romance girly. Fantasy romance, I will do, not loads of it, but I will do every so often when I just want something where it's like a head empty, no thoughts kind of book. Fantasy romance is perfect for that, and I do enjoy it a lot. It's never books that like stick with me, that are going to be like ultimate favourites and things like this. I mean, apart from a couple here and there, but generally speaking, I prefer fantasy books with a little bit more of like intricate plot lines and slightly darker themes and all of this. But fantasy romance is really fun and really easy, and it's so good if I'm starting to feel a bit slumpy in my reading. That is what I like to go to. And contemporary romance, I have read one series in particular which I became obsessed with last year, which is Magnolia Park, and now I feel like I could be going the exact same way with this series, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like there is a recipe in here that is contemporary romance but make it rich people drama, and I am obsessed. So Kings of Wrath got two perspectives, and one of them is Vanessa, and she is a very dutiful daughter. She believes in paying her family back for everything they've done. Her family is very strict in the terms of they come from new money and they want to be more established in the higher society, which looks down on them because they come from new money. There are just always going to be doors that are closed to them because of this fact. And so that her family is very much like, right, you can date, but this is a select group of people that you can date from because it has to meet these certain criterias. And if you don't get to a certain point by a certain age where you're not married, we're just going to arrange your marriage. And that's what happens to Vanessa. But she goes along with it because she's very dutiful. She loves her family. Kudos to her, because I could not do it in this situation. The person that they arranged the marriage for is this person who she does not get on with. They really don't like each other. And he's called Dante. He is about 8 years older than her. He is a billionaire. He comes from old money. He's Italian, and there's lots of stuff going on with that. But he is ruthless and he is being blackmailed into marrying her. And so you get both perspectives, and I am loving this book. So I picked it up on a whim. I was not sure what I wanted to read. I was feeling really with the books that I was reading, and I was like, I just need a day where I just have something different. And I was just thought, even if I DNF it, it's going to be fine. I just need a break to mix it up. And I decided to go with that because it was on Kindle Unlimited, and oh my god, I am obsessed. So yeah, I'm going to continue on with this book because I haven't stopped thinking about it. I haven't read it for like 2 days and I haven't stopped thinking about this damn book. So we're going to have my trusty Kindle and we're going to read this book. And I honestly think I'm going to read it at home, read it at work, and we're just going to get it done because I am really enjoying this. Now, I should be saying to you, oh no, my at work book is a book that I started last week, which is the Gothic short story collection, and I will take this one to work instead. I want to finish it, and I enjoy classic short story collections, and the one that I've got up to is The Victim by Anonymous, and it did start off really well, so I want to continue on with that, and I want to do at least one short story a week, and then by the end one short story during my lunch breaks at work, because I think the longest is like 20 pages and I have a half-hour break at work, so I can definitely get that done. So that is my plan for when I'm at work, is to read these, and I will slowly get that finished across the month. But then my at-home book, it should be something else, and I do have one that I will be picking up this week, but I think I'm going to prioritise a Kindle book first because I've been really feeling like reading on my Kindle for absolutely ages. I don't know, I've just become obsessed, and I think it's just come at the right time because I've been feeling a bit meh with my reading last week. Productivity wise, chef's kiss, amazing week. Reading wise, not so good. However, I am going to try and get at least one book off my TBR, and that is Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. And this is the book that won by a landslide between two of the books that you had to vote on. I'm going to try and get this one read as well, but probably after King of Wrath, because if I try and do it before, I know I'm just not going to be invested and I'm just going to end up putting it down to read that book anyway. So that is going to happen towards the end of this week, and first of all I'm going to read King of Wrath, knowing that this book is not going to take me long because it's so readable. Honestly, I could easily binge this one and probably get it done in the next like 2-3 days, and then I can finish off the week with Anatomy, a Love Story. That's the reading plans. Whether we stick to it or not, I don't know. Sometimes I'm really good to sticking to my plans that I come up with at the start of the week, and sometimes I'm really bad at it just depends. However, to put a spanner in the works, I have become obsessed with Animal Crossing again, so I also want to have time to play Animal Crossing every day, although I don't think that's going to happen today because I do need to cook, and I've also got to update a reset video and I need to edit, so I've got quite a bit to do today, so I don't think Animal Crossing is going to happen, which is so sad. It's definitely going to be happening the rest of the week because I love Animal Crossing so much and I'm really back into it. Finding that better balance between reading, Animal Crossing and also editing, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's where we're at for the start of this week. I hope you enjoy. Please let me know, are you a contemporary romance person? I feel like I definitely need to try out and branch a few things. I actually had plans to anyway, ready for February, just it's happening a little bit earlier than expected with this series because I'm really invested in it, and you'll have to let me know if you've read this series, if there's any others along this vein that you think I'm gonna like. But yeah, okay, I think that's enough of the intro. I hope you're all doing amazingly well, and let's get cracking. I need to cook and everything, so that's going to be the next lot that you see, is we're cooking this meal and I'm really looking forward to it. It's basically just going to be this cheesy creamy vegetable thing, and yeah, then we're gonna chill out and read and just have a really good time, and also edit because I do need to get that done as well. On updating this vlog yet, but I just had to update, well, wrap up the reset video, and I figured, you know what, I'm here, I am top half of me already for filming because the bottom half is still in pajamas because I have work, and let's face it, I do not bother getting dressed unless I really have to on a work day because I'm like, I'd rather just be lazy until I go to work. You didn't need to know that. Anyway, I figured I would do an update, especially because I have made quite a lot of progress in King of Wrath and I am loving it. It is so good. So I am up to chapter 30, page 257, 67% of the way through. So clearly I've made some good progress. This book has been exactly what I said it was going to be. Something that I can easily binge and I just don't want to put it down. It is so much fun and it is just drama. Like, we have rich people drama going on. We're going to be coming up to like a third act conflict. And you know what? I say that as if I know in the romance world that this is what happens. I've just heard other people talking about it, and it has happened a couple times in books that I've read, because I haven't read many contemporary romance books, but the ones that I have read, it has happened in. So I'm expecting some form of conflict to happen. Don't get me wrong, we've had like little fights, you know, you expect they're having their little fights and stuff, but I'm expecting Vivian to find out the truth behind this arranged marriage, and I am looking forward to seeing how that's going to go down, because it's going to be a lot of mess and I'm really looking forward to it. It is just really easy writing, like it's nothing major. There has been a few repetitions of things very similar, maybe not exact wording, but very similar things that get referenced and that comparisons are made and stuff, which is fine. Some of the actual spicy scenes themselves, I mean, some of them are just funny, and that's absolutely fine. I'm just enjoying it. It's just an easy, fun read. So I definitely think I'm going to be getting the rest of them on Kindle Unlimited. And to be fair, if I find them in the works, because the works here in England is like, if you don't know, is a stationery come bookstore slash, it's kind of like an odds and ends store that does discount stuff, and they do books for like 3 for £6 or something like that sometimes. So if I see them in there, I'm probably going to pick them up. Also, Anna Juan has done the Twisted Love series, which I may give a try if I continue really enjoying these. Having a book like this is so good. So for me, last week was not an amazing reading week. It was very like meh. It was okay. But this has just been like a breath of fresh air. It's like changing up the genre so completely outside of what I like that I then feel really ready to go back to the other sort of genres once I finish a book like this. It's the same thing like some people read manga or something like that when they start feeling a bit slumpy, and that's what these sort of books do for me, is those typical easy reads that are just fun, stops me from going into a reading slump because I'm reading something so different and just so entertaining. It reminds me that I'm reading for fun. That's why I like these sort of books. Like I really do. And honestly, I'm gonna have to stop saying that I'm not a romance girly. I mean, I have a whole video that's going to be coming out where we're going to be trying a specific author for the first time that loads of people seem to love in the romance world, as well as a couple of other things that are going on. That will be a fun time. Honestly, this one is not going to be a dedicated romance vlog. I'm definitely, once I finish this book, which I'm expecting to finish today, is going back to my TBR. It's just been really refreshing to do, and it does remind me that I shouldn't really pigeonhole myself into specific things that I like or write off other genres, because I am someone that likes to read a bit of everything. Like I will never read just one genre because it's just not me. I like to dabble in lots of different things, and it's what stops me from falling into reading slumps, and King of Wrath is really doing it. It's really helped. It's really got me out of that reading slump, and I'm having a really fun time with this. So I'm really intrigued to see how that's all gonna go. I want to see how Vivian handles that situation. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I feel like some of the other books in this series are going to be following other people, because there's been like little tidbits that I'm like, oh, I think you're going to be in one of the Kings of Sin series and we're going to follow your romance thing. And I think it will be really interesting because you'll get to know some of those characters a bit more in depth as well. It'll be interesting to see if it takes place at like a similar time to this, or whether it's going to take place at a different time. As you can see, I already want to carry on with this series, but I am not going to allow myself to do that. That was a terrible sentence. I'm not going to allow myself to do that because I want to focus on my TBR. So I want to get a few things read, and then maybe in February I can go back to reading these on Kindle, because I don't have any Kindle books lined up for February. So I feel like continuing on with Kings of Sin series in February would be a really fun idea. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to update. I have nothing else to update you on except the food. The food was pretty good. I will say, if I had a blender, this would have made a freaking amazing soup. I'm not gonna lie. What I did yesterday, because I reheat the food at work, it then becomes quite like soupy. It was a really nice soupy sauce with the vegetables in that, and it was cheesy and everything, and it was just so comforting. And then because the potato was cooked really nicely, so it was nice and soft, it was like a potato soup with vegetables, like with bigger chunks of vegetables. And I just feel like if I'd blended that down and then had that with a crusty roll, oh, that would have been so good, so tasty. So yeah, I definitely, I do want to get a blender because it would just be so good to do. That's a side note. Anyway, I'm going to actually play some Animal Crossing. I want to do some code hunting today. I really want to just do this. I've edited for an hour and now I'm gonna play some Animal Crossing and just chill out. I think I'm having a really fun time with everything. Okay, let's go play some Animal Crossing and go hunt for codes and just have some fun with it all. Good morning. I have had a really nice couple of days actually. I mean, work's been work, that's been fine, but I've been able to put aside an hour of Animal Crossing every morning and I am loving it. It is so fun and cozy and I love being able to play this game. It's so good. All the vibes are there. I did go code hunting, which was really fun, looking for different like decorations and paths and things so I can actually start decorating my island. I know that my island's going to take me absolutely weeks to do, but I don't mind. I'm having such a fun time. I do have a list of like villagers that I would like. I have one already which I got really lucky with, and that's Fauna. She is so sweet and lovely and she kind of goes with the vibe of what I want for my island, which is like a cottage island. I don't want it set in a particular season because you can do that, but I want it to just go naturally with the year and just do my cottage theme and have it changing slightly with the seasons and with different things that are happening. I just think it would be really fun to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I also did get another lucky one actually, and I got Judy. Judy I've actually had before on another island, but I really love her. She's really cute and sweet, and I do have a list of villagers that I would like to get and then also backup options, because let's face it, some of the villagers in this game they're just a no from me. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It is so cute and wholesome and it's a really nice way to relax and unwind. So that's what I've been doing in the mornings alongside reading, which, considering I've spoken about Animal Crossing for the last 2 minutes, we should probably move on to reading news. I have finished King of Wrath. This was really fun. It was just enjoyable. Like, it was an easy read that didn't take much focus but had enough going on that I was engaged the whole time. Like, it was really fun. I can't decide if I want to get these books physically or not. I feel like I do, just to have them on my shelves. I don't know if I'd reread them anytime soon, so it's not like an urgent thing that I want to get, especially because the next couple in the series are actually on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm not in a massive rush to get them, but I think I would like them. They were just really good. Like, I say I've only read the one book, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I liked the way the third act conflict was resolved, and it was just really good, really fun, really messy drama, but that's exactly what I like in these sort of books. Definitely going to be reading more from Anna Hon. I think it was really good writing in the sense of what I wanted out of it. Like, it's not the most lyrical, beautifully written book ever, but I think for what I wanted out of it, it worked really well. So I'm really pleased with that one. Also kind of given up on the short story collection, only because I'm not in a classic reading mood, and I know if I keep trying to push through this and reading, I've kind of spot picked. I've read a few that I really liked. So I liked I was up to The Victim when I last spoke, and I liked that one. I thought that was really interesting. It looks at how people used to, they were kind of called resurrectionists, where they took bodies from graves to use for doctors and students to use. So that was interesting. And then I started kind of like just spot picking, like I'm reading little excerpts from the different short stories, but nothing was really grabbing me. The last one, which is by Sheridan Alfano, who wrote Camilla, I was very interested in reading, and that was The Secret History of an Irish Countess, which was interesting. It kind of started as this like locked room murder mystery, and then it kind of developed from there. I did enjoy it, but again, I wasn't in the mood for this, so I'm gonna put it down for now. Whether I pick it back up again before the end of the month, I don't know, considering we've only got like a week left of the month, so I'm not sure. I am pleased that I've got it because I like short story collections like this. I like just going in and out of them and just seeing what I like. It's just with this short story collection where you've got multiple different authors, I'm not always going to gel with all the authors' work, which I'm pretty sure I've already said. There's been a couple in here that I've been like, no, I don't get on with this writing style, and then of course some which I have absolutely adored, which again I've already spoken of, I think in this vlog, pretty sure it was in this vlog, where it was Edward Bowler, Monos and Demonos. That was my favourite. I just think the writing and that was really good. I have started Anatomy, a Love Story by Donna Schwartz, and I am enjoying this. I'm up to chapter 10, page 93. So I'm reading this quite slowly. I think I should have this finished by the end of this week, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's another really easy read. It's got good atmosphere though. So this is set in Edinburgh in 1817, so you've got a really nice setting, lots of atmosphere. There is a lot of worry about this plague that had gone around previously that killed loads and loads of people, and they're worried about the resurgence of this plague, and it's very worrying times. But we've got two main characters that we're following. The first one is Hazel. Now Hazel is a lady. She's kind of like almost middle to upper class. Her mother is is very withdrawn and distant because of a family tragedy, until Hazel's mother suddenly starts trying to invest time in her in getting her married, because at this day and age, and she makes the point very clear to Hazel, your brother is the one that's going to inherit. You are going to be left with nothing. You have to marry in this world. You will not own anything and you will be left barefoot. Hazel's like, I don't really care about this. I want to be a surgeon, which is not allowed for women at this time. That is really frowned upon. Hazel's trying to push out against these boundaries while dealing with the realities that, no, you're a woman in this time period. You're not going to be able to do this. So that's really interesting. It's quite morbid and there's quite gross scenes of like amputations and stuff going on, so if you're a little bit squeamish, yeah, maybe think about that. But it was good. I was actually just surprised at how graphic it was at points because I was not expecting that. And then the second perspective is Jack. And Jack is a resurrectionist. As I mentioned from the classic short story, he's someone that goes around digging up bodies for medical students and doctors and stuff to use to perform autopsies on. By day, he works at a theatre company, and you're starting to see how these two are interacting. I really like it so far. I'm enjoying it. I like the commentary on society at the time for women, the descriptions, the atmosphere of it all, but at the same time it's a really, really easy read. Like, it doesn't take too much focus on. The way it's written is really easy to digest, so I really like that. The chapters are really short, and also at the end of each chapter we get little snippets like this. Now sometimes, like this one, is from the Edinburgh Evening Gazette, other times it's from different medical records. I mean, not every single chapter has it, but end up with it more often than not. So like this one is from a primer to the Gentleman's Field of Physicians from 1779, The Cities of Scotland, A Traveller's Companion. Like, there's lots of different little things like that, and I like it. It adds a bit more kind of context to the setting. This is really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping to average at about 60 pages a day, and then that will get this book finished. It's been like recommended a few times, especially because I like Stalking Jack the Ripper. It's a very similar setup. It's just Stalking Jack the Ripper takes place in London, so I knew I was going to like the premise of this book because of how much I enjoyed Stalking Jack the Ripper. I'm really pleased that I'm also enjoying just the way it's been done, like the execution of it all, just as much. So it's really good. It's a really easy read, and that is what I wanted. I feel like I've read quite a bit of young adult. I'd be really interested in my wrap up what I've been in the mood for. I haven't been in the mood for anything really like thought-provoking or things like that. I just want easy reads at the minute, and young adult and romance, they're doing that for me. Anyway, I've got to go. I've actually got a train to catch, so I need to quickly finish packing, and I will catch up with you very soon, hopefully with a bit more of anatomy read. I have had an amazing couple of days. I have had such a good time. So I've got reading updates for you, I've got a little book haul, and just in general, just such a good time. Like, we had a great time. So I met with my partner on Wednesday and we went out for lunch and we went to have dessert somewhere else, and it was all so beautiful and lovely. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. And there was also this VR experience that was free. It was just there in the middle of central London and you could just join in with your phone, and it was really fun. It was this like butterfly laboratory thing and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. They normally change up what they have on and it just worked out that this time was butterflies and it was so fun. It's just been really good. I've had loads of Animal Crossing time, which has been really fun, and just in general the last couple of days have been really relaxing and enjoyable, and even today at work was pretty chill, so it's been nice. It's been a nice few days and I've got loads of reading done, so let's do that first. I'm pretty sure in the last update I mentioned that I was putting this one down, that I wasn't really feeling it at the minute. I haven't gone back to it, I haven't picked it up again. Instead, I have been focusing on Anatomy, a Love Story, and I am almost finished. I am up to chapter 31, page 275, so we have 60 pages left to go and I'm enjoying this. It's really good. It's got really good vibes. I love the setting, which I've already mentioned, in Edinburgh, but this is really good. I enjoy it. It's also super easy to read, which I think I've already mentioned as well, but it is like I'm flying through it. So in this one, we're following Hazel, we're learning more and more about her, how she's really frustrated at her lot in life, and we see the ups and downs, the way that she kind of imagines how her life is going to go, and she's going to become a surgeon, she's going to solve these different problems, and she's going to become world renowned, and you know, she's really going to be able to make something out of her life. And then you see those dreams and stuff get dashed time and time again. You see her picking herself up and fighting against it. I really enjoy it. And then you see Jack and you see the difficulties that he's facing about being poor at this time and how he's struggling for work, and the effect that I called it a plague, it's like a fever that's going around, is having on people, and the effect that then has on work and the struggles that come about because of all of that, and seeing those two interact and how they end up forming a really nice bond between them. I really am enjoying this. This is really good. I like looking at both sides of the society and seeing that through different lenses and seeing how it's constricting in different ways, and how just because you've got money doesn't mean that you're free, and I enjoy that exploration. So I'm really enjoying this. I also like the little mentions here and there of like Jane Austen and Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, and the little nods to Frankenstein in this as well. I do think it's quite predictable. See, I haven't finished it. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I can see where it's going. I can see how the breadcrumbs have been placed, and I'm pretty sure how it's going to go. Obviously, I won't give away spoilers, but I also don't mind that because it also makes it a really nice, just easy read because of that. So I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I plan on finishing this evening because I've only got 60 pages and it's not going to take me much time at all to finish it. So I've enjoyed it. It's a good book. I also am a bit confused though, because a lot of people when the second book came out were like, oh, it doesn't need a second book, like it all wrapped up really well in the first book. But I'm not seeing that. I'm like, there's so much to fit in 60 pages. Surely we need a second book to explore all these things properly. Like, there's a few different plot lines that could be developed a bit more, and like I'd be interested to see how they wrap up, and I want to see that. I want to see that progression. So yeah, I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong and it could wrap up really nicely. Maybe a little bit rushed though if it's all finishing up within 60 pages, but I feel like you definitely need the second book. So I don't know, I'll be intrigued. That's something that's really intriguing me, because I have seen so many reviews when the second book was coming out being like, no, we don't need a second book, it's fine. And now I'm sitting here going, no, there's so much to wrap up. There's so many threads to tie off that I don't think that's possible within 60 pages. So I'm really intrigued to see what I think and how that's going to wrap up and how that's going to go. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm just enjoying young adult. Like, the last book I really enjoyed this month was Only a Monster, and I really enjoyed that, and that read to me like a YA fantasy, and I thought it was really good. And I'm just having fun reading books that are just bringing back joy for reading. Like, don't get me wrong, I love classics. I appreciate what they do. I like studying them and going into them, like as in my own personal studies. I don't do that for like university or college or anything like that, but just like my own thing. I can really appreciate the language. I can really appreciate what they have inspired even in today's authors and artists and everything. Like, I really love that. I'm just not in the mood for that. I'm not in the mood for analytical thinking. I am in the mood for just enjoying books. And it's just been really good. And since I've decided to like just slow down with the reading a little bit, just truly enjoy the books and read whatever I'm feeling, and it works. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's really good. I do like it. It does read like young adult. It does have those kind of common tropes, kind of predictable things that are going to happen in it, but I still really like it. So yeah, that's really good. But before I keep waffling on about that, we do have, as I said, a little book haul. It is only manga though. I say only manga. I enjoy manga. I just don't read loads of it, and mainly because at the moment I've been missing volumes for me to be able to continue on with things. We have 3 because we went to Forbidden Planet and we got the 3 for 2, which I love doing. First of all, you can see here is Tokyo Ghoul volume 14. I will finally be able to finish Tokyo Ghoul. I thought it was 13 volumes. I read the 13th one as part of a readathon and I was like, wait a minute, well this doesn't finish like this. And then I saw it and I was like, oh no, there is a 14th volume, and it's taken me absolutely ages to get my hands on it, and I finally have one. That's the only thing that I will say about manga, is sometimes it's really hard to get those odd volumes. So yeah, so I now have volume 14, so I can finally finish that series. And then the series I want to continue after I finish Tokyo Ghoul is Moriarty the Patriot, but I haven't been able to continue it. I've only read the first 2 volumes. There are 13 volumes in total at the moment, or at least that I'm aware of, and I did not have number 3. So I have number 4 on my shelves, but I was just like, I'll pick up number 3 when I see it. Yeah, that's been months, months and months of waiting. So I finally have volume 3, so I can read volume 3 and 4, and then I picked up volume 6 because they didn't have volume 5. So I think it's going to happen again where I'm just waiting for that volume. But I have found another place to buy manga from, actually. It was mentioned in Discord, and then also Gavin's got a discount link for it. I think it's Sci-Fi, where you can get manga. I'll be having a look on there when I eventually get round to it. I mean, like I say, I don't read it all the time, but I love it for my readathon to break up what I'm reading throughout the day. And sometimes if you're in a reading slump, I find manga really helps with that. It's just, I was down to literally 2 volumes of manga that I can read, and that's it. And I don't have the ones after it either, which they don't take long to read, so I definitely wanted to stock up. This is all I stocked up on. Honestly, if they'd had more, I would have bought another 3. They just didn't have the other volumes that I need. Definitely one of those things where it's just potluck. But yeah, Moriarty the Patriot. This is a retelling of Sherlock Holmes, but told from Moriarty's perspective, and seeing how Moriarty became the criminal mastermind that went against Sherlock Holmes all the time. And I'm really enjoying it, so I'm really excited to continue on with these. So that's the little book haul. Those are all the reading updates, and I think that's everything. I am planning to wrap up this video when I finish Anatomy, and I think that's probably going to be tomorrow because I can't imagine me not finishing this book. So unless something happens where I then can't sit down and read this, I'm going to be finishing this up, and we'll wrap up the vlog tomorrow. But I'm actually really excited about next week's reading as well. There is so much that I've got planned. Obviously that's going to come to your next week's reading vlog. I'm very excited for it, and I'm really feeling all of those books. And oh my gosh, okay, so slight spoiler for next week. Next week is Sarah J. Maas's new book, Crescent City 3, A House of Flame and Shadow, and I'm so excited for it. It's the release date and everything, so that's all happening next week. And we had a little like spoiler release thing of the prologue and the first chapter that Sarah J. Maas released on her website. So I have read that. I read that today. Oh my god, I am so excited. I am so excited. I love it. I love the prologue especially because it does a different point of view, someone's point of view that I have been really wanting and was really hoping we would get in this book. And yeah, oh, it's so good. I'm hoping it's more than just the prologue. I'm hoping we get more of their perspective, but we'll see. But yeah, this has been, oh, it was so good. I loved it. I've reread the prologue and first chapter like twice now because I was just so like, the first time I read it, I didn't process it. That's my only problem. When I get so excited for a book, I don't process everything. So I had to like, I read it and then I was like, okay, now let me reread this and like do it properly, and it was great. I'm so excited. But yeah, so that's coming next week, as well as a couple other books. I've got 2 other books. I've got 3 books I want to do next week, and I'm really excited about all the reading. But right, okay, right now I actually need to edit. I need to finish off editing a video that is due up in 2 days time. So I've got to do that, and then shower, and then we'll chill out and finish Anatomy, and that'll be really good. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good. I'm really intrigued, but I just don't think it's going to wrap up in 60 pages. But I guess you'll find out in a second whether it does or not. But I will find out in a few hours' time. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I love reading. Good afternoon. I did finish Anatomy, a Love Story last night, and honestly, I really liked the ending. It was really well done. All the things that I was saying about how, oh, I don't see how it could wrap up so easily in the last like 60 pages, and surely we're gonna need a second book. It actually does wrap up really well, and I actually really understand why some people would say you don't need a second book, especially if you read the epilogue. I think that's the bit that causes that little bit of conflict with it, because something happens at the end of this book which caused me almost to be in tears. Like it was emotional, and mainly because that this particular thing that happens at the end of this book is just one of those weak points for me. Like I was so upset with it, and I was like, no, I don't want it to happen that way, and I had to call my partner. Well, actually, to be fair, I messaged my partner going, I finished my book, and with a crying face emoji, and he's like, called me and he was like, go on, tell me all about it. And so I did, and it was really lovely, and he was very sweet about it. But honestly, it was one of those things where it's just one of those endings that always gets to me. Like this sort of thing really does. Like I do find it quite emotional. So I really liked the ending of it, but I can see from the epilogue and the way it does like passes time and everything, it does make you wonder with that second book, how are they going to continue it? Are they going to continue it as if the epilogue didn't happen and it's going to be a short time after the last page? Or are they going to continue it from the epilogue where a bigger chunk of time has passed? So it'll be really interesting to see how it continues. I do think things wrapped up rather well. It was predictable. I knew what was going to happen. I also didn't mind it. Like I did enjoy it, and I think the way it wrapped up was done well. It was a tiny bit rushed. I feel like we could have had maybe an extra 40 pages to flesh a couple things out. Honestly, it was fine. It was really good. It's kind of what I expected from this sort of story, and I liked it. I thought it was good. I am interested in getting the second book though. I really want to read that, especially because this is only a duology, I believe, so it would be really good to actually start and finish a series this year rather than just starting them. So I do want to get my hands on the second book of this. Oh my god, we got there in the end. And yeah, I think it will be really good. I really enjoyed this one. It was exactly what I needed, and those seagulls are going on one right now. But yeah, anyway, this was good. I enjoyed it. It was really fun. All the things that I've already said, and I do think the ending worked really well, so I'm really intrigued to see how the second book goes, especially because I've heard even less about the second book. Not many people have spoken about that one at all, so it'd be really interesting to see whether it's as good as this or whether it's not quite as good. I don't know, but I think you could easily read this as a standalone if you wanted to, and so like if I get the second book and I don't enjoy it as much, well, I'll still keep hold of the first book because I think it works as a standalone really well, as I said. But yeah, that was really good. I really enjoyed it. Apart from that, yesterday evening did a tiny bit of Animal Crossing, and then that's it. That's all I did. So to recap, we started off the week finishing King of Wrath, which I really enjoyed. I was actually just started editing this vlog, and you could just see the enjoyment that I had with this. It was so much fun. It was exactly what I needed, what I wanted, and I'm really pleased with it. I do want to continue this series as well, and we'll just see how it goes, whether I'm going to be like, you know what, the first book was the best and I'm going to leave it at that, or whether I'm going to enjoy reading the other book. I think it would just be for those moments where I'm feeling a little bit slumpy and I'm not sure what I want to read, and we're just going to pick up something fun. And that's what honestly these two books reminded me of this week, is just how fun reading can be, and that is always really good to have. Like I really enjoyed that. We did also DNF the short story classic collection, The Tales of the Macabre. Again, not because I wasn't liking it. Like there are some in here which I didn't like, and I DNF'd the actual short stories, and there were some that I did really like in here, but I just wasn't feeling it. And there is no point pushing through a book if you're not in the mood, because it's going to end up being more of a letdown because you're not in the mood rather than it being because of the stories, if that makes sense. So yeah, I didn't continue on this one, although one short story in here I haven't stopped thinking about and I have really enjoyed, and that was the short story which I think I've already mentioned, which is by Edward Bowler, which is Monos and Damonos, which I will be looking into whether they've written anything else, because I really enjoyed that short story. I thought it was really good and I do think about it. So I think for me this collection is always going to be something that I keep hold of. I'll probably dip in and out of when I feel like it, and while the majority majority in here weren't for me. There have been a couple that I really enjoyed, and that being the main one. So there we have it. Those are all the books that we read this week. I think overall it's been an amazing reading week, and I've just had a really good time, and I've just enjoyed balancing out my week better with playing Animal Crossing each day, as well as getting the editing done and everything. Like, I've enjoyed it. So hopefully we can continue that on going forward, because I feel like it's a really nice balance to have, and it's just worked really well for me. So fingers crossed we can continue that. But that is everything for this week. So thank you so much for joining me for this weekly reading vlog. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please let me know if you've read any of these, if you want to read any of these. Let me know that in the comments below. So thank you so much for watching. If you have made it this far, then let's put a heart, preferably an anatomical heart, for Anatomy a Love Story. If not, then a red heart will do just as well. And yeah, we're gonna leave it there. So if you don't know what to comment, you can chuck that heart below if you just made it this far. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one. So if you have enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribe, commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel grow. So thank you so much to everyone that does, and even just watching these videos helps a loads. Anyway, before I start going on a massive tangent about how much I appreciate you all, because I really do, and I love it so much, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch these silly little videos. I would so appreciate it. But we are going to go, so anyone I've mentioned and my social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.